Hello again, YouTube peeps. It's another week and another video. So we're going to talk about RV storage for eBay inventory this week. I know I was pretty nonchalant in the previous video where I talked about, I'm going to keep the big stuff that I have, and I'll probably still pick up some big stuff because I wasn't having problems. Well, that took about 3 days before that really started to change, because I was having a lot of problems. The first time I had to ship over after the weekend, it was a cluster. Okay, having to constantly move stuff around, reorganize it, find where stuff was. When I was going out and sourcing on the weekends, which is basically the only thing I've been doing is garage selling, because we've been so busy, I was having trouble finding places to put this stuff. I was having to find every little nook and cranny in my storage containers to try to get stuff in there to create stuff in other ones, so I had like an empty container to take sourcing and stuff with me. So storage space became a very quick problem. So now I'm having to correct that. What I'm doing is all my like bigger stuff, my game consoles, I had like 6 or 7 box consoles too. I've got all that stuff listed now, and I am putting it down at like 15-20% off comped prices because I'm trying to get it moved, and it's starting to move pretty good. And it's freeing up some space, and I've just got to remember that I'm gonna have to niche down. Well, not niche down, I'm just gonna have to go smaller. Because like I told you guys, I'm in a small travel trailer. It's actually a 241 BHK SE instead of a 261 BHK SE. I always get that confused. So the box is only about 24, almost 25 feet. Tip to tail, it's 29 and a half. But you're probably wondering, like, why are you doing this in such a small travel trailer? The reason is because we originally were not going to full time in this. We bought this about 2.5 years ago. I know I said 2022, but they actually come out almost a year before the models, just like vehicles. So we knew we wanted to get out and do some traveling and go do stuff, because we had rented a travel trailer previously to this. It was about 4 feet longer, and it was probably right at the edge of what was comfortable with my F-150, but it was out to Big Bend, and we got quite a bit of wind and stuff, and I just did not like the handling on it. So we decided to go a little bit smaller, but had plenty of room for us to do some trips, some week-long trips. We weren't planning on full time. It was kind of like something we were talking about. So when we did decide it, we already had the trailer. We weren't about to try to trade this in and go in more into debt by getting something else. We decided to just go with what we had, which I think was a smart plan. We're gonna work on this, and we're gonna see if this is gonna work for us. We can always upgrade later, but we don't want to automatically assume we're gonna need something bigger until we try it out. We're not gonna, if you're in a situation where you just already have something, just use what you got, and don't wait later until you can go, because my motto, those who dare win. You got to get out there and do it. You got to do it, or you're gonna fail because you didn't try. So just get out there and do it. So that's why we're in this little travel trailer, and so far it's been okay. I mean, I haven't killed the kids, the wife, or the dog yet. Everybody's still alive and good health, so I think we're doing good, right? Yeah, okay. But we're going to talk about storage setup. Right now, the storage that I have the bottom bunk in the RV. I have the under the dinette, which we took out the U dinette and we put in like a daybed type setup. So I've got storage tubs underneath that, and that's where most of my listed inventory is. I've got some room underneath the bed, our bed in the little tiny bedroom, and then I've got like a work table set up on the side of that, and then I've also got the locked storage area in the back of my truck bed, because I've got a lockable hardcover, and that's it. That's what I've got to work with. Most of my listed inventory, of course, is under the day bed, but then I've also got some of the box consoles and stuff in the bunks area, and then I have like unlisted stuff, higher value, and kind of mixed around in places, and I'm trying to work on how to get it all situated. So that was the issue I ran into, was just running out of space for stuff, and then having to constantly move stuff to get to things I needed, and it was just it was making a lot of extra work for myself. So that's why I'm doing this reorganization again, and deciding that yes, I do need to niche down. So what do I need to do to fix this? Okay, well, I already told you I'm getting rid of all my bigger stuff. I'm still making money on it, but I'm getting it moving as quickly as possible. I also need to niche down, well, not niche down, I need to start buying more of the small stuff that I also like to pick up. Stuff like video games. You know, I'm just not going to buy a bunch of consoles anymore. Maybe some of the smaller ones like a Wii or N64 or something like that, but none of the bigger 360s, Xbox Ones, or, you know, PS4s. I need to pick up just more video games. I used to do like bundle buys from people. I'd be like, hey, what do you want for everything? And I'd just bundle the games that weren't worth selling by themselves with the console and sell it like that. Now I'm just going to be more surgical about it. I'm going to pick up the games that are worth money. You know, if I can get 15 bucks for, even 12 or 13 bucks for a game. But there's games that are 15, 20, 30. I mean, hell, look at the box Pokemon games. I sold those for a couple $100. You know, those have already started moving. I made like $1,500 in like 2 days just from the Pokemon games all selling. So video games are worth quite a bit of money. Another thing is cameras, specifically digital cameras. I sometimes pick up point and shoots, but they're harder to test, especially because you need film. I would not put something up as tested on there unless I had film, which you normally don't do. So I'll put on there not film tested, but I'll test like the flash and stuff like that. So that's why it's easier to stick digital cameras, because you can test those out completely. A lot of those are still worth good money, even though they're like 10, 15 megapixels, some even less than that. And our phones are up to like 50, 60 nowadays. Contractors and other occupations still want those cameras. Some people just still like to use them regardless of what their occupation is. Good brands to pick up are Canon, Sony, some Nikons, but it's more specific models. I mean, there's even some Vivitars. They're not a great camera brand, but specific models somebody might want. So when I see a digital camera, I always look it up, no matter what brand it is. Okay, they're also really easy to test. Next thing would be like beauty tools or aids. You know, things like curling irons, flat irons, specifically like Babyliss and Lange. I don't know how that's pronounced. I just know it's worth money most of the time. You look up the models, of course, it's the same type of deal. There's some that aren't worth money, there's some that are. But if you can pick it up for, you know, $3 to $5, it sells for 30, and it's costing you under $10 to ship, you're making money, right? And if it's got a good sell-through rate. Other things like other small electronics, things like iPods, believe it or not, people still buy those. Walkmans, those can be worth really good money if they're working. Discmans, you know, like CD players, portable CD players. What are some other ones? Hand recorders, like the Sony ones, like you kind of talk into. Some of those can be worth really good money. Mainly Sony ones. Other things like sunglasses. Sunglasses are good money, like Maui Jims, Oakleys, even ones that are scratched up. You can sell them by the, you know, with frames only, and they're still worth money. I'm getting into sunglasses more. I haven't really sold a whole lot, but I'm starting to look for those a lot more. Same thing with watches. You know, Casio G-Shocks, some Fossil watches, Citizen watches. Just, you know, I would tend to pick up ones that I can see for sure are working. I don't want to try to have to buy batteries and figure out how to get the backs off and put new batteries in. I would probably stick to just ones that I can see, or you know, the hands are moving, or it's digital, I can see it's working. But pick those up. You know, just pretty much anything that's worth money that's small, guys. It's pretty simple. When you go to a garage sale, if it's stuff that you don't know about, look it up. If it's on the table, you know, that's normally where you find the small stuff. Look it up. Don't buy heavy stuff. I would not buy ceramics, glassware, anything like that. Although it's funny, like there's a Facebook group I'm part of, and I was asking them if there was anybody that was doing this type of thing or had done it. And there was this, one of the moderators actually chimed in that they did it for a couple of years, and she liked to sell stools and chairs. And I'm thinking, how did you have the room for that? I mean, they had like a whole bunk room, but even then, like that adds up pretty quick. But there's actually more people. Like when I started that post, there's more people that have done this or are doing it than I thought. You know, even though there's not really any YouTube channels other than mine and one other one that I saw talking about it, there's quite a few people that are doing it, and it is doable. I don't know if they were doing it full-time. I didn't really go into that too much, but I know they were doing it at least for side income. I'm doing it, of course, full-time. And right now, things are working out. So far for April wasn't even a month that we needed to have a full-time income coming in, because I still had residual money from my job. Jen just quit her job earlier this month, and you know, she's actually good all the way through May. So it wasn't really until June that we needed to be able to fully fund our RV experience just off of eBay without having to pull from savings. But we're actually at that point now, you know, just because the month was so good and I've got such great inventory that I'm listing, that we were, you know, we already made what we need to make budget wise. So that's awesome. And hopefully it continues. And I just need to keep doing what I'm doing, but do it in a much smaller manner, which is going to be harder because, you know, you want to be able to pick up anything that makes money. But it's got to be smaller in order to fit in this travel trailer back here. Okay. So that's what I'm going to work on. So if you want to continue to find out what we're doing, sorry, I had a little tongue twister. Please like and subscribe. Please start commenting if you have any questions or you just like the content. Just say something. It does help with the algorithm. We're starting to get a little traction with the channel. I'm not expecting this thing to blow up, but I do want to make sure there's going to be interest on it if I'm going to continue to do videos. And I know there's going to be plenty of times where things aren't that interesting, but this is the stuff to set up the, you know, the structure and what we're doing in, you know, a couple weeks to a month from now. So even though we're kind of still sitting in place, we're still getting everything figured out, and you need to see how this part goes too, rather than just the cool stuff like going out and seeing all these new places of source and what you pick up and all that stuff. You got to do the nitty-gritty aspect of it too, and I think that's something that's more important than seeing the flashy stuff. So if you agree with me, please let me know, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and let you go for now. Y'all have a great day, and hope your reselling career goes well. Thanks. Bye.